And thanks to your brave leadership and the mandate you were given by the American people not only to defend the homeland but crush violent crime, you tasked us with our great partners at the Department of Justice and the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General to start making arrests and bring prosecutions and safeguard our cities. And you said it. This is just the beginning.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. This is just the beginning of a clown show. On October the 15th, 2025, Kash Patel, current head of the FBI, aided by current Attorney General Patel Bondi, assembled the world's press in the Oval Office of the White House to give a masterclass in obsequious sycophancy and fawning supplication. This hideous toadyism was aimed directly at the most important people in the whole world. Sorry, did I say people? I meant person. Yes, the delusional narcissist in chief himself, a man who
looks like a quaver on top of a what's-it. Or Boris Johnson after Jeffrey Dahmer has sewn him back together. Donald Trump sort of looks like someone playing a president in a porno. Would you have bothered with the hair if you had his face? If your face looked like a novelty jug that was made in a secure unit pottery class. Trump alienated the Republican base. There were Republican politicians who didn't vote for him. Those are some of the worst people in the world. How can you lose them? There are people who didn't vote for Trump who would have voted for Magneto. A guy who looks like a melted action figure of He-Man. Doesn't even really have policies. They're more the sort of things a drunk would say on a bus when he gets shaken awake by a pothole. I mean, he cheapened Vegas. You know, he ran a casino that lost money.
in order to keep their jobs, protecting the rich and powerful paedophiles of the world. Something they haven't been doing convincingly recently, due to their abject incompetence. They demonstrated the skills that got them in the jobs in the first place, grotesquely feeding the ego of the maniac-in-chief, Timu Kim Jong-un, friend of sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, and her convicted sex offender in crime, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald J. Trump. Let's watch the highlights of this pointless charade together.
In just 7 months, I hope the media takes a look at every one of these charts, because these are the best numbers for fighting crime in U.S. history, and it's only 7 months in. Mr. President, that in and of itself would be historic for a 4-year presidency. You did that in 7 months because you let good cops be cops, and you partnered us with the right people at the Department of Justice to put the handcuffs on and bring them to court and put them in prison. Administration. Mr. President, in 7 months, you have 28,600 arrests of violent criminals in just 7 months alone, because of your leadership and the dedication of the men and women at the FBI who want to go out there and do the job they were prevented from doing, because that department used to be weaponized and politicized. And this is what happens when you take out the fangs of weaponization. This number is historic by every metric. 28,000 people have been arrested. Mr. President, during your administration, the FBI has found and located 5,400 children. That is a 30% increase year to date over the last administration. Violent crimes against children arrests alone are up 10%. These numbers are historic just as a snapshot. Mr. President, your leadership has never been stronger. This year, you already have 252 arrests. 52 arrests of violent cyber criminals who are stealing from senior citizens, who are violating our children's rights and freedoms, and who are violating everyday Americans. These programs are record. And two of the things I'll finish with that I'm most proud of, Mr. President, this FBI. Fentanyl. As you know, it's a scourge that is killing our youth, 100,000 plus a year. To date, the FBI has seized 1,900 kilograms of fentanyl. That's enough lethal doses to kill 127 million Americans alone, to date. And if that weren't enough, Mr. President, you said we have to go after the worst of the worst. And you empowered our Department of Justice, our Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, and the Deputy Director at the FBI, led the charge, not just on summer heat, but he also led the charge in the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives. These people have been on the run for years. And in 7 months, you captured not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of the FBI's most top 10 fugitives. 4. And just to put that in perspective, Mr. President, the Biden administration captured 4 in all of 4 years. You're on 7, and we're going to get to 10. We're going to get to 10 of 10. These people were on the run because of the prior administration's reckless policies that destroyed our communities, and you came in and with a mandate said, go after the worst of the worst. This is just the beginning. This is what happens when you let good cops be good cops at the FBI. Mr. President, I just want to thank you for your incredible leadership.
I hope you noticed, Kash is giving this presentation directly to Trump, he occasionally casts a glance at the press. Okay, let's take stock of what we just heard. Essentially, I heard the same two things over and over again. 1. Mr. President, thanks to you and your great leadership and great wisdom, you are the most stable of all the geniuses. 2. Your presidency is significantly more impactful than Sleepy Joe's. You are the best president ever. Patel is trying to save his bacon because he has seen what has happened to so many Trump appointees of the past who didn't please their master sufficiently, cast out. Not for incompetence, Trump doesn't mind that, for lack of deference and respect shown to Daddy. Whilst we continue to watch, please bear in mind that the FBI and the DOJ are meant to operate with a significant degree of independence to ensure that the rule of law is applied fairly and without political bias.
It took you, sir, 2 weeks to get the Abbey Gate bomber. Joe Biden had 4 years to look for him. You got him in 2 weeks thanks to the interagency effort by the FBI and the CIA, went to Pakistan, and now 13 brave warriors who were senselessly murdered because of the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. They have justice, their families have a peace of mind, and we're going to continue to find the others, Mr. President. On behalf of the FBI, sir, I just want to thank you.
President Trump, the men and women of law enforcement say two things to me repeatedly.
Let me guess. The second word is you, right? Or off. Both make sense.
First, you have taken the handcuffs off them and let them do their jobs, and you let cops be cops. That's why all this is happening.
Now, Pam did say more in this press conference, but I will spare you the unctuous, sanctimonious arrogance. This was a shit show. A clumsy, tactless, servile showing of the belly to the Mad King. It was quite possibly designed to distract from the much more pressing matter of the Epstein files release. You won't be able to keep the cover-up running much longer, Donald. I thank you for your attention to this matter.